Hi, it's Ben here, transmitting to you live and direct from the Tyrannus space station out in space. I'm here to distract you from the meniality of your Friday evenings. I'm only joking, I'm sure you have got important things to do. There are, after all, beers to be drank, butts to be scratched, games to be played, and appendages to be fiddled with. But if you can distract yourselves from such appendage exploration, we're here to play some retro shmuppage. Is shmuppage a word? It is now. This is Xevious on the Nintendo Entertainment System. For those of you who like to peruse the 3DS eShop, you may have seen this on there. This is, well, it's got a 3D conversion on there. I must say I'm still not really convinced by the 3D stuff. It's like, oh crap, I'm distracting myself by talking. Damn it. It's like, yeah, it looks 3D, but it's much harder to play and it's making my eyes feel funny. So I always turn the bloody 3D thing off. There's not even a single game that I've played yet that I like the 3D on. Maybe I'm just being a bit of an old bastard and trying to stick to what I know. But I don't know, I'm just not impressed by 3D at all. I've never really liked 3D movies either. I just like good old plain, clear, 2 dimensions. Call me a sucker. But yes, this is some very retro shoot-'em-up action indeed. Bit of a difference from some of the other games I've been playing. As you know, I've been exploring some of the Japanese import shmups on the Sega Saturn. And, you know, I did say a few weeks ago that Layer Section was the only shmup I'd ever played that had this kind of dynamic with targeting things below you and in front of you. Oh, crap. Little did I know at the time that Xevious had got there first, many years before. And it's, yeah, similarly to Layer Section, I do find it very difficult to look at what's coming in the on my layer, as well as what's happening below. And there is quite a knack to targeting your bombs at the ground, just right. You've really got to get the reticule just in the right place, or you'll miss. And of course, if you miss, you get too many of the bloody things congregating on screen, and you're really going to have a hard time dodging the bullets. This is a bloody challenging game, but it's just right. It's just the right level of challenging. I've been getting kind of addicted to this. It's like, you know what I'm like? I like roguelike games. I like games where, you know, it's really easy to die. And it's like, if I could just get a little bit further, and this is one of those games, I'm afraid. It's like, if I could just get a little bit further, I'm sure I'd be fine. Now, the more points you accumulate, the more lives you can store up. And the trick really is to do as well as you possibly can at the start and not get killed. In order to accumulate... Oh, I can't get my words out. Oh god, I'm in trouble. In order to accumulate rather a large number of lives before the game gets deadly. Now look at this. 3D sprites on the Nintendo Entertainment System. You betcha. You didn't even need a 3D DS conversion. You got these bad boys. I've always thought this bit was a little bit weird. I mean, are those necessary? Oh crap. Oh, I misjudged it. I knew that 3D stuff would be the death of me. Anyway, that's just what I get for distracting myself too much. It is very hard to talk and play. An excuse that I always use, but you know, I will use it again here. Go soft on me. I'm not a hardcore Xevious player yet. Though actually, I have been doing pretty well on these. Well, when I'm not talking. I've got as far as the boss, if you can call it that. It's more like a flying ship of death. Very difficult to get past. It's funny how the boss ratio, like on these old school shooters to the new ones, is very different. I mean, I've been playing a bit of Layer Section and some of the other games. What's that new one? God, I can't remember now. But those games have bosses like all the goddamn time. Like, it's like a little bit of action and then a boss. Whereas this is like lots and lots of the standard level part. And then if you work really hard, you might just get to see a little bit of variety in a boss fight. But only if you work especially hard at the game. Which I don't mind. It's kind of like you gotta work for your, you know, for your reward. Oh, look at this weird complex thing with 4 sprites. That's it. The trick there is just to hammer it in the middle with a well-placed bomb. And it will go down. Yes, indeed. What can I say about the graphics on this game? I think they look alright. I mean, they're certainly functional, aren't they? A bit River Raid-y in the sense that you've got, you know, rivers. That's a pathetic attempt at a comparison, isn't it? Oh, that was a hairy one. Ugh, that's what she said. That's gross, actually, a hairy one. No, I often trim mine. I'm rambling now, I don't really. I'm just making things up for entertainment's sake. Anyway, I've completely forgot what I just completely derailed myself by talking about that. What am I doing? Yes, like River Raid, grass and rivers and roads and things on the ground. But unfortunately none of those weird planes that come across and try and kill you. I think that would be a bit too much to contend with, wouldn't it? But, you know, the enemies are a little bit, monotonous, shall we say. Only really one main variety of enemy. Maybe the game does have a lot of variety if you can survive long enough, but I've certainly never lived long enough to see much different to these weird spherical disc things that I don't really know what they're supposed to be. They're not quite spaceships, they're not quite plates. They're flying spaceship plate hybrid monsters. Right, I'm not going to be fooled by these slowly turning plates again. I don't really know what these are or how to explain their presence in the sky, but they're there. So you have to wise up to them. There are all these sorts of hazards when you do your pilot training, you know, flying plates and rotating polygons and all these sorts of things. Yes, if you were a pilot, you'd know all about that. But you know, I'm just a layperson. I'm just hazarding a guess. There we go. That sound means that I have a life. Is there an actual... Oh, God. The thing you'll notice about this game as well is that the ship is bloody slow. He really doesn't go anywhere fast. At all. Really, compared to modern shmups, your flight is awfully slow. Very tardy. I suppose the other thing to say is that there's no power-ups whatsoever in this game. What you see is what you get. Kind of like Radiant Silvergun. You start off with all of the... that's the only comparison I can probably make there. They're both shmups and you both have the same power-ups at the start. You know, you have to just basically learn to use what you've got well and not upgrade them. I kind of like that, actually. It can be very, very hard in games where there are power-ups, like Hellfire, for example, because if you die in those games... You know, you restart without power-ups, and it's like, this is impossible. You need power-ups to get through these parts of the level. So I'm just scuppered, so to speak. So it's kind of refreshing being like, well, this is as good as I'm going to get, so it's already down to my skill. And I'm not going to be disadvantaged by dying at an inappropriate time. Well, other than losing lives, obviously. I would quite like to get as far as the boss, but I may not make it. It's a shame, because it would be quite nice to show that off to you. In all its beautiful graphical glory. Right, take that. The game is a bit pricey on the 3DS eShop, I must say. 5 or 6 quid, which is a bit ooh, close one. A bit annoying because you can actually pick up the NES cartridge for probably a couple of quid. Oh god, I've only got 0 Solvalau left. Yes, better stock up on those Solvalaus more. Is that the name of my spaceship, I presume? I don't know. Must be. I don't know why it's called a Solvalau. That just doesn't really roll off the tongue very nicely. Couldn't they have thought of something more badass, like, only one more giant badass ship left? Maybe not that. Of course, that silly voice made it sound more badass than it was. That was false advertising. If you said anything in that voice, it would sound badass. The cash and carry! Tesco's shopping bags! And so on, and so forth. Feeling rather hyper tonight. I've had a lot of chocolate. That's the trick. Chocolate and no beer. Because beer just makes your brain tardy. You don't want that. Right, come on. Maybe I'm going to make it. I'm going to make it. It looks different. The level looks slightly different. Something's happening. Just noticed there are some differences with the 3DS version as well. There are, I'm sure there's some crazy like multi-attack things that come here. That fire like discs at you that you can shoot. I'm just going to dodge that. That looks like... a dangerous tit that's firing out bad stuff, and I don't have the manual dexterity to take that tit down. Like most of my adult life, I just avoid the boobs, really. Don't understand them very well. Best left alone. Right. Come on. Oh! That's game over. I'm not going to get to show you the cool boss. I'm so sorry. This is Xevious on the NES and the Nintendo 3DS, and maybe other stuff, but I don't know. Alright guys, take care, and I'll speak to you all soon. Bye!